So this week we are getting into data-driven MVC web apps. So we are going to be working with Entity Framework. There is a lot of information in here. The lecture sections I have combined with the hands-on. So if you come down here and you watch the video, it's going to cover all of that lecture information plus what you need to do in the hands-on. Okay, and this is really important information because this is your database. Your whole app is kind of driven based on the database. So this is critical that you understand uh, everything in here. So this is kind of our first run at Entity Framework. Later in the course, we're going to take another look at it. So you'll get to see all of this again. And I like that approach because some of this is more complicated and there are things you might miss the first time around that you'll pick up the second time we cover it. Entity framework conventions are super important because these are assumptions that Entity Framework makes when you create your models and how that impacts your database and tables. So you're going to go through here. You're going to add seed data. You're going to generate your database and tables. And this basically explains how you have to set everything up. One key point, and this is in the chapter key points, and I'm pointing it out now, is that we are using .NET Core 3.1. And so for your entity framework, you have to match that version. So your entity framework should also be version 3. Now you can get the most recent, installation of version 3, but your .NET Core MVC and your entity framework need to match up in versions. So make sure that you do that when you use your NuGet package manager to add an entity framework to your project. Okay, super important. And as you go through here, if there were any issues that people ran into with this project, I did mention them. I also mentioned how you resolve the problems. Okay, so as you work through here, make sure you read everything, complete all of the hands-on, and when you're done, you'll have this little movie app. And then at the very bottom, you are going to create or add a database to your own app. Okay, so I've got several examples, and you're going to be working on the app you were working on last week. Okay, but you can see I tried to give you lots of examples and lots of help. So hopefully you guys won't run into any problems at all. If you look down here, this is the grading rubric, kind of showing you what is required and what you get points for. If you run into problems, probably the best thing to do is put it on GitHub so that I can download it and look at it. Or you can come into my live stream office hours and, we can both look at your app. You can run it and I can look at the errors, but I have to be able to, see the errors in the app and then kind of backtrack and look at your models and look at your code, to try to figure out what the problem is. Okay, so hopefully it'll all go smoothly for all of you. And what you need to turn into the Dropbox is a link to your GitHub repo for the movie and then for your own application. Also, I just want to quick point out this week, we do have an industry night out on Thursday. So if you attend this event, it is an in-person event at Sara Lee. We should talk to their infrastructure and developers. They're going to feed us pie. So it should be a great event. If you do attend, Make sure you submit to one of the activity drop boxes just a paragraph on what you thought of the event and what you learned. So I hope all of you have a great week and let me know if you need any help.